This is an intermediate English listening practice. It comes from Book 4 of the Intermediate English Comprehension series, which has over 3,000 positive reviews on Amazon. Listen carefully and use the subtitles to improve your vocabulary and comprehension.
Today, English is one of the most widely spoken languages in the world, used by hundreds of millions of people as a first or second language. However, the English language had humble beginnings, and many other languages have influenced it throughout its history. Around the early 5th century, the Romans withdrew from Britain. Although the Latin-speaking Romans had ruled the island for around 350 years, the population still spoke Common Britannic, a Celtic language related to Welsh. In about 450 AD, Germanic tribes called the Angles, Saxons and Jutes began to arrive in Britain and make it their new home. These early settlers came from what are now northwest Germany, the Netherlands, southern Sweden and Denmark. They spoke related Germanic dialects and could communicate with each other. This was the beginning of the English language. The Common Brittonic-speaking inhabitants were slowly pushed into Wales. Their language diminished as English was born. In the 9th and 10th centuries, there were many Viking raids. Over time, some Vikings settled in Britain and brought their language, Old Norse, with them. The Vikings introduced words like to drag, to thrust, and to die. The English spoken between 450 and 1100 AD is known as Old English. The next important stage in the development of English began in 1066, when William the Conqueror invaded Britain. William and his people spoke Norman French and, over the next 400 years, English borrowed about 10,000 words from French. In the 14th century, English became the language of power in Britain. This was because the Normans living in Britain now spoke English and had assimilated into British society. We call the language spoken from 1110 to 1500 AD Middle English. The English spoken between 1500 and 1800 is called Early Modern English. There were huge changes during this period. One was called the Great Vowel Shift, which is when the pronunciation of vowels became shorter. William Shakespeare wrote in Early Modern English. The playwright invented about 2,000 new words and phrases, such as eyeball, alligator, and the green-eyed monster, a metaphor for jealousy. The Renaissance also took place at the time of Early Modern English. To describe the explosion of new ideas at this time, thousands of words were borrowed from Latin, such as expensive, gradual, and orbit. New words also came from Greek, such as skeleton, history, and atmosphere. English from 1800 to the present is called Late Modern English. The biggest changes during this time have been in vocabulary. The Industrial Revolution and the Digital Age both created countless new words to describe changing technology and ways of communication. From a cluster of Germanic dialects to a global language spoken around the world, the story of English continues to evolve.
If you'd like the full text with comprehension questions and vocabulary explanations, Book 4 is available on Amazon. The link is in the video description below.